What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And this one, I want to break down what's going on with the overall market, what's going on with Tesla and all these other tickers. I'm also going to talk about why the market is selling off the way it is and what's likely playing a role in causing this. But before I break down all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner. Take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. So, anyways, guys, let's talk about the market. Let's talk about something very big that's going on. We're getting a very, very aggressive sell-off right now, and this is just a part of market manipulation, in my opinion. So, what's going on? Basically, this actually started just before the 17-week bill auction came out, but this was as expected, and nothing really changed from the previous report. And I didn't really see any data that caused this. I didn't see any major headlines just yet that maybe led to this sell-off. So I'm not really seeing that just yet. But one thing I find interesting is that when you look at SPY, max pain for today is at 473, so it was a bit lower than where we basically were. So I guess the market makers and the algorithms likely played a big role in causing this sell-off as people started to turn very bullish. They started buying like crazy. But what's crazy about this is how we were just at 475 within an hour and 10 minutes ago, right? An hour ago, we were at 475. Now we're at 469. We got a very aggressive sell off. We will see what news comes out to cause this. But I first want to talk about Tesla. What's going on with Tesla? Well, historically, if you guys look at the trend, we were bouncing off the yellow trend line over and over again. And now all of a sudden, okay, and remember, guys, Tesla was holding up throughout today. It was just at not 257 within an hour ago. An hour ago, it was at 257. Now it's all the way down to 247. It got a crazy sell off over the past hour. It came down to fill this gap. I told you all that I would not worry too much about Tesla, even if it did sell off, unless we ended up breaking some key supports. So we lost 252. All right, our next support would have been 250. We just broke below that. So that's another bearish signal. We're going to be watching our supports at 247 now. It's right about here where this wick is, 247.25. If we lose that, it's going to come all the way down towards this 245 area, very close to where this blue trend line is. The blue trend line I have drawn out here as previous resistance, which is going to become support. That's going to be at this 245 area. If Tesla fails at 245, we're going to be seeing this thing sink all the way down to potentially 242. So you want to be very careful at these levels. For resistance, watch 248. And if we break above that, we have 250. Then we have 252 above that. So make sure you watch those levels very carefully. Then we have 254 and this yellow trend line acting as resistance. Right now, we're just kind of shuffling between 248 around that range and 250. We're going to be watching to see if Tesla could try to bounce or not. But right now, it's still looking quite weak. So please be very, very careful with this sell-off because of some kind of piece of news. I don't know what the news is quite yet, but I do know that the algorithms and the market makers are playing a big role in causing this just to screw over as many people holding calls. I just want to note that with this happening, be very careful. We'll see where Tesla ends up going, and we'll see what headlines come out to cause this. But Tesla's not in a good state for the bulls now because it ended up losing 250. If we close below 250, we're not going to be in a good state for tomorrow. So just be very careful and make sure you watch these levels very carefully. As far as SPY goes, all right, if you look at SPY, I just want to mention that SPY is making attempts to get back above 470. Now, it's not that horrible for SPY because we're technically above where we were like on Friday of last week. We're back within our range from Monday. So it's not that horrible, but we did see a very, very aggressive drop. SPY went from 475.8. That was just about an hour ago. We were in the 475s all the way down to 469 within an hour. How crazy is that? A crazy sell off. Now we're trying to rebound a little bit. We will see if this thing can try to close above 470. If we break 470, watch this resistance right here around 471, then 471.6. Then we have 472 right above that. If we keep losing support at 470, watch 469, then 468 as two key levels. 468 is historically a nice support on SPY, but for now we're just barely kind of like shuffling around 470. We will see if this holds. Right now, excuse me, it's not looking the strongest, still looking kind of bearish. So just be very careful. On the QQQ, we got this aggressive sell-off all the way down to the 404s. We're kind of shuffling around here too. Watch 403.5, which is where we kind of bounced off of as one of the supports. If we lose that, there's a risk of it coming down to the 402s. And then we also have 404 as support. Resistance, watch 405, 405.7, 406.5, which is right about here. Then we have 408.5, followed by 410 as resistance. We're just kind of like shuffling in the 404s. We'll see how this ends up holding. Watch 405 flat and 405.7 next, and we'll see how the QQQ does. We have a wick forming right here, so buyers are trying to defend, but we'll see if they could hold it up. But overall, the trend looks very weak, guys, so just be careful. It could sell off more. If we lose the low from right here, this 403.5 area, it's going to come down to 402. Be very, very careful. There's lots of trickery in this market. They push the market up to turn everyone bullish, only to give us this massive rug pull to hurt many people out there. As far as Nvidia goes, this thing pumped and held up very nicely for most of today. It actually was at about 497 about an hour ago, and then for the past hour, it just sold off all the way down to about 485. And now it's continuing to sell off. I warned everyone that if we lost 488 on Nvidia, I would turn more bearish, and I'd expect this thing to come down to 482. That's very close to where Nvidia is trying to like hold right here, the 482 range. If we lose that, 479 is going to come next, followed by 475. Those are two supports to watch for. So we have 475, 479, and then 482 as key supports. For resistance, watch 485. And if we break that, there is potential for 488 to 490. Nvidia is looking very weak, and it looks like it could actually close very close to where we are. If we close below 485, that's not going to be a good sign. There could be more selling, so just be very careful and see if buyers try to defend. It is a little bit oversold in the shorter term time frame, so we'll see if there's another push by bulls, but just know it's looking kind of weak, so watch these levels. It could actually sell off more later on. Apple's not doing as bad as many stocks out there because it's still within its range. Apple is currently at 195.6. I told you that if we lost 195.5, I'd become concerned. We're still trying to hold support. We saw this thing kind of shuffling between 196 and 197 in this range for the last 2.5 days. So it's still not that far from 196. It's not doing that bad. But I want to see if Apple could try to rebound and close above 196. If we get above 196 for close, we're going to be in an okay place. If we close below this, there's going to be a risk of it coming down to 194.4 again. Not looking the best. We did get this aggressive sell-off. We were basically around almost 197.5 before we started to sell off back down towards 195.5. But it wasn't that crazy. I mean, Apple is still not too far from its range. So let's just see if Apple could try to get a decent close. It was looking kind of weak, so we could see it get very close to 195. So just be very careful. If you want to be like on a little bullish on Apple, if you want to see this thing bounce, I want to see it close above 196. If it fails to do so, there's going to be a risk of more downside for tomorrow. All right, so that's it for the video. Hopefully this video was helpful, guys. Sometimes unexpected things like this could happen. There's lots of trickery in the markets. So we'll see what happens going into close. We'll see what happens during the after hours, and we'll see what headlines come out. We'll see if there is something that happened or if there's something that's going to happen that led to this sell-off. Sometimes the market could anticipate news because someone always knows something. Maybe there's going to be some bad news that comes out after the market closes, maybe later on. So we'll just have to wait and see. Until I see you guys again, thank you for listening. Have a great day and peace out.